Okay, here we go. So first of all, please smash and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. We today on 50 subscribers, which I'm very proud of. Thank you very much for helping us out to get there. So yeah, here we go. When we started, we said we would explore a couple of avenues of investment. So this is my personal way of investing in different things. It's not advice. It's just telling you what I do, what I look at, and hopefully you can learn from it. Hopefully you can comment down below if you've got some better ideas. Hopefully we can learn from each other. And please, leave a comment if you want to see something, if we need to explore something. I'm not an expert on all of these things, but I know a couple of people that could probably give us expert advice if needed. So a lot of this is DIY. I like to explore things myself, read about it, and then try it. Not always successfully, I must say. I've lost a couple of rand here and there, but overall enjoying it, finding it interesting. So the next topic is tax-free savings accounts. So I'm going to read off the screen just to give you a brief overview of tax-free savings accounts. So just to take it back a step is that a while back Pravin Gordhan was still Finance Minister of South Africa, and he saw great South Africans are not actually saving what they should be saving. So he decided, let's look at an option of a tax-free savings account. So what is a tax-free savings account? Exactly what it means is that you've got a savings account that doesn't draw any tax. So what that means is any other savings account, you will be taxed on the rent that you earn from it. So if you put in 1,000 rand, you get a rate of 10% a year. You get 100 rand from that rate you got. Your 100 rand will be taxed. So in short, that's how normal investment accounts work, saving account work. So tax-free saving account is actually a way that you can invest, and all the money that accumulates and goes up, you are not taxed on, so you can actually then get that money back straight to you. You don't need to give some of it to the tax man. And why doesn't that sound good to anyone? Why, if you're like me, you don't like giving money away to the tax man. Always try and find a way of optimizing your tax. So again, that's in a nutshell what Pravin Gordhan has decided. So with this is you've got your savings account now, a tax-free savings account, but it does come with some rules. Investment may only be provided by a licensed bank, long-term insurer, a manager or register, collective scheme with certain exceptions, the national government, a mutual bank, and a cooperative bank. So there's a couple of options where you can actually then invest in a tax-free savings account. You've got your banks, which I would most probably say is the easiest access to a tax-free savings account. It's quick. Most of you could probably do that online. If you've got a bank account with ABSA, FNB, I don't have one myself. We'll get to where I've actually put my money. But with those accounts, you can most probably go on your internet banking, open up a tax-free account, set some limits. So I know a lot of those banking ones, they want you to invest a certain amount per month. So it's like signing a debit order. I'm going to put 2,000 rand a month out into my savings account, or 500 rand. I think the minimum is 500 rand. Might go as low as 300 rand. But go on your bank's website, go and have a look, do some calculations. There's a couple of calculators out there. See what your bank offers you. So let's just get back to the rules of a tax-free savings account. So you don't have to pay income tax, dividend tax, or capital gains tax on the return from these investments. So just back to what we talked about, the returns, you're not going to pay any tax on them. you can contribute a maximum of 36,000 Rand annually. So the amount increased from 33,000 per year to 36. So just there's a side note here. Note that the portion of unused annual limit is forfeited. So it doesn't mean you have a rolling effect. So it doesn't mean in year 1 I only invested 6,000 Rand. Year 2 I can now add that rest to my yearly fund. It's any portion of unused annual limits is forfeited. Okay, so that is not carried forward to the next tax year. So our tax year ends in February. So if you didn't use everything in that tax year, you forfeit it and you start over with a new 36,000 Rand. You can't add the previous year's under investment, if I can call it that, into the next year. There is a lifetime limit of 500,000 Rand per person. So that 36,000, let's just calculate that. My math is not that great. So let's just say 500,000 Rand. We divide it by 36,000. You're basically looking at, if you invest 36,000 Rand every year, you're going to look at about 14 years, just under 14 years that you're going to have to invest before you reach the limit of 500,000 invested money. If you exceed the limit for a yearly limit, there is a penalty of 40% of the excess amount. So there's an example on SARS's website. It's Taxpayer X invests 35,000 exceeding the annual limit by 2,000. So this is an old one because the new limit is 36, but let's go with it. Then you are taxed 40% of the 2,000 over. So that gives you 800 Rand must be paid to SARS. So I wouldn't go that way. Again, you're trying to actually make sure you don't pay tax. We're not going to give more to the taxman. So keep to the limit of 36,000 Rand a year. Okay, so a person can have more than one, say, tax-free savings account, but what needs to happen is you're still limited to the 36,000 per year. So you can have more than one at different places, but as long as your deposit amount doesn't exceed 36,000 over the 2 or 3 that you might have. So you'll have to invest 11,000, 11,000, 11,000, and then split the remaining 3,000 into those. So what, 12,000, 12,000, 12,000. Let's read the next note. Note that when your return on investments are added to capital contributions, the balance may exceed both the annual and or lifetime limit. The capitalization of such returns within the account does not affect the annual lifetime limit. So it just means that if your account's doing very well, it's not going to affect the amount of money you can still put back in. Okay? The total amount account will be 38 the following year. Okay, so that's just an example. However, so this is important. However, where a person withdraws the return and reinvests the same amount, the amount is regarded as a new contribution, and the impact on both the annual and lifetime limits. Note that any withdrawal made cannot be replaced, be it return on capital. So just what this means is, great, you've seen some good gains, you need some money, you pull that out of your savings account, your tax-free savings account. So what this means is now, I've used, let's real world example, I need 10,000 Rand, I withdraw 10,000 Rand, but I only used 5, now I've got that 5, I want to put it back. So in a year where you already contributed 36,000 Rand, you can't put that 5,000 Rand back into the account without paying penalties or without bringing down your limit. So withdraw 10,000 Rand, you can't put it just back in, it contributes to your yearly and lifetime limit. I hope that's clear. Okay, so you can open up, what I've done is I've opened up tax-free saving accounts in the name of my children as well. They've got little savings accounts, and again, don't want to give too much tax away, so open up tax-free savings accounts. So hopefully in their lifetime I can give them a good head start and reach that 500,000 Rand somewhere before they graduate from school. I'm going to probably exceed the 13 years. I'm not going to make that 36,000 Rand each per month or per year. So which accounts will qualify for a tax-free investment. So fixed deposits. So again, guys, talk to your financial advisor. I'm just reading it off the screen here, and we'll get to what I've done. But fixed deposit, unit trust, retail saving bonds, certain endowed policies issued by long-term insurers, linked investment products, exchange rate funds, ETFs that are classified as collective investment schemes. So again, when you're going to invest in a tax-free savings account, read up about it, go on the website. I think everyone from ABSA, FNB, all the banks, your Old Mutual, your Sanlam, all of them offer this product. So just see which one looks best for you, which one you feel most comfortable with, and we can quickly chat about what I've done. So again, as you can look at some of my other videos, I use Easy Equities. I like the DIY side of it. So I like to make decisions on where I invest money. So most banks and Old Mutual and all those guys will most probably take your funds and invest it in certain areas. So one is property, some of it might be a little bit in cash. Let's talk about a forex account. Some of it might be in a in companies as on the JSE. So what I've done is I've went the DIY way, and I've actually invested in Easy Equities and used them as my tax-free savings account way to go. So I've invested for the first time this year. So I've invested my 36,000 Rand, and I've seen about a 6 to 7% return already from February up until now. Bearing in mind that I've invested in February, Corona, stock market crash, where we are now, and I'm still up. So I might just be lucky, but I don't think that's bad. So I've went on Easy Equities. I opened up my tax-free saving account. I think it kind of, if you open up a normal one, you get that automatically, but it's a fund transfer from your normal account to your tax-free savings account. You could probably just deposit it directly in a tax-free savings account, but I like to actually just, deposit into my normal one and then just transfer that out. Okay, so bought into Easy Equities. They've got a lot of ETFs, so exchange trade funds, and bundles and so on that I could invest in. And I kind of took not much thinking in it, but it sounds bad when I say it like that, but basically went and read some of the products and said, great, I like this bundle, I like what's in here, I like it gives you what it costs to actually invest in those funds, and I pulled the trigger on a couple of them, diversifying, and I've got everything from a Satrix top 40 to a new emerging market ETF. So that's all the things I've invested in. So also, just to go back to the girls, I've gone the same way. I went to Easy Equities, tweeted them, how do you do it? They sent me a nice document, filled the document in, got them registered. Each girl has their own profile, each girl has their own tax-free savings account, and I deposited the little money I have for their savings that I've accumulated over the couple of years into those tax-free savings accounts. I also just giving you the numbers. Tia Marie is on, I think, 7% right now, and Danny is at 5%. I did invest again. My timing was a little bit better with the investments. I did it a little bit after the stock market crash, so they have seen nice gains because it's starting to recover, and hopefully it'll keep doing that. So in a nutshell, that's tax-free savings. If you have any questions, please pop them below in the comment sections, and I'll hopefully be able to answer them. If I can't answer them, maybe we must just make a video getting an expert in and chatting to them on the questions you have. So please pop the questions below. We can organize something like that. Deirdre, you asked about this tax-free savings account. I hope this helps. Please let me know if you need any more information. What I'll do is I'll pop the SARS website with the rules and regulations in the description below, and go and read up, guys. Again, it's not that difficult.